It happened on a quiet Wednesday morning, the kind of day that starts ordinary and ends up changing everything. 8-year-old Lily sat alone in the school cafeteria, holding her peanut butter sandwich with trembling hands. Across the table, 3 older girls laughed at her mismatched socks and the way she stuttered when she spoke. One of them called her a baby. Another took her lunch and dumped it into the trash. Lily didn't say a word. She just stared down at her small hands, tears falling silently onto the plastic lunch tray. No one stepped in. No teacher noticed. But that moment it would spark something powerful. Something that would remind an entire town what kindness really means. Hey everyone. Welcome back to your channel name, the place where real stories of kindness, courage, and second chances come to life. If you believe the world needs more compassion, make sure to hit subscribe, like this video, and share it with someone who could use a little hope today. Now, let's dive into the story that left an entire community speechless. Lily was a bright little girl, shy, curious, and full of questions about everything. Her mom, Megan, worked 2 jobs just to keep their small apartment running. Life wasn't easy, but Megan always told her daughter one thing, Chor. No matter what happens, always choose kindness even when it's hard. Every morning, Megan packed Lily's favorite peanut butter sandwiches with a note tucked inside. Little reminders like, you are brave, or, Mommy believes in you. But that Wednesday, Lily came home differently. Her shoulders were slumped and her usual smile was gone. She didn't want to talk. She just went to her room, clutching her worn-out backpack. Megan gently knocked on her door. Sweetheart, what happened at school? There was silence for a few seconds, then a small voice whispered, Mom, they said I'm weird. They laughed at me and no one helped. Megan's heart broke. She sat beside her daughter, brushing the hair out of her tear-streaked face. She wanted to scream, to march down to that school and demand answers. But then she remembered her own words. Choose kindness. So instead of anger, Megan chose a different path. That night, she stayed up late baking cookies. Dozens of them. Chocolate chip, Lily's favorite. When Lily woke up the next morning, the kitchen smelled like sugar and warmth. Are we having a party, Mommy? Lily asked, rubbing her eyes. Not exactly, Megan said with a soft smile. We're going to teach kindness today. At school drop-off, Megan walked in holding a big box filled with cookies. She asked to speak with the principal, Mrs. Turner. In the office, she calmly explained what had happened, not to accuse or blame, but to share. I'm not here to point fingers, she said. I just want to help the kids learn what it feels like to make someone's day better instead of worse. Mrs. Turner was moved. That's a rare way to handle this, she admitted. So Megan proposed an idea, the kindest table. It was simple. Once a week, students could stop by the cafeteria table to write a kind note, share a compliment, or just talk with someone new. The cookies, they were the invitation, a sweet way to break the ice. The principal agreed. By lunchtime, Megan set up a small table near the windows. She covered it with a bright yellow cloth and a hand-painted sign that read, Be kind. It's free. Lily stood beside her mom, nervous but curious. Kids began to gather, drawn by the smell of warm cookies. Megan smiled at them and said, Cho, you can have 1 cookie, but there's a catch. You have to say something kind to someone else before you eat it. At first, they giggled. Some were shy. But then one brave boy stepped up and said to Lily, I like your backpack. It's cool. Lily's eyes lit up. She smiled, really smiled, for the first time in days. That single moment started something no one expected. By the next week, the kindness table became a lunchtime tradition. Students began leaving sticky notes with words like, You matter, I'm sorry, and want to sit with me. The cafeteria felt different, warmer, lighter. Even teachers noticed. The girls who had bullied Lily came by too. They stood awkwardly at the edge of the table. One of them, Samantha, looked down at her shoes before mumbling, I'm sorry, Lily. What we did wasn't okay. Lily didn't hesitate. She handed Samantha a cookie and said softly, It's okay. Everyone can start over. That simple act melted years of coldness in that little girl's heart. Megan watched from the corner of the room, tears welling in her eyes. She didn't need revenge. She didn't need to shout or punish. Her kindness had done what anger never could. It had changed hearts. Word spread about what Megan and Lily had done. The local newspaper ran a story titled, Mom Teaches School a Lesson in Kindness. Soon other schools called asking how to start their own kindness table. One day, Megan received a handwritten letter from a teacher in another state. It read, "We started a kindness club because of your story. Our students are learning that small gestures can make big changes. Thank you for reminding us of that." Megan folded the letter with a smile and tucked it into her journal. Right beside the first note she had ever written to Lily, "You are brave." A few weeks later, the school held an assembly for Kindness Week. Megan and Lily were invited to speak. Standing on stage before hundreds of students, Lily's hands trembled as she held the microphone. She took a deep breath and said, "When people hurt your feelings, you don't have to hurt them back. You can make them your friend instead." The room went silent. Teachers, parents, even the bullies sat frozen, listening to the little girl they once made cry, now teaching them how to heal. When Lily finished, the crowd erupted in applause. Megan hugged her daughter tightly, whispering, "You did it, sweetheart. You changed the world, one cookie at a time." Months later, Megan and Lily stopped by a local diner for breakfast. As they walked in, the waitress smiled and said, "You're the kindness ladies, right? The ones from the paper." Megan laughed softly. "That's us." When they finished eating, Megan reached for the check. But the waitress shook her head. "It's already taken care of," she said. "The kids from your school came in earlier and told us what you did. They wanted to return the kindness." Megan's eyes filled with tears. Lily grinned, swinging her feet under the table. That morning, the world felt a little bit smaller, and a whole lot kinder. Kindness isn't about grand gestures or perfect people. It's about small choices. The decision to forgive instead of fight, to listen instead of judge, to bake cookies instead of casting blame. When Megan chose kindness, she didn't just protect her daughter. She built a bridge that healed a school, united a town, and inspired countless others. And that's the beauty of it. Kindness multiplies. It doesn't fade or disappear. It ripples outward, touching people we may never even meet. So maybe the next time you see someone hurting, you'll remember Lily and her mom. Maybe you'll offer a smile, a helping hand, or a kind word, because you never know how much it might mean. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, subscribe to Your channel name, and share it with someone who believes in the power of kindness. Let's keep spreading stories that remind us the smallest act of love can leave the biggest mark on the world.